Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. Today I am going to show you how to plant your elephant ear bulbs. You should be seeing in your stores right now that they're starting to get in their spring bulbs, and elephant ears are one of those bulbs. Let me show you mine. Here is the elephant ear that I bought from Walmart. Look how much that costs, $5.42. And I tried to pick the biggest that I could find, and there's no, even if you pick a small one, you'll still get a nice size plant. So if you can't find the huge ones, don't worry about it. As long as the bulb is healthy, you're good. So what you want to look for when purchasing a bulb, or if you've overwintered your bulbs, you want to make sure that the bulb is nice and hard all over the place. You don't want any soft spots on this bulb. And you want to make sure that it's not rotted, moldy, nothing like that. This bulb is perfectly fine. You can see there is a little bit of mold there. I think that's just from being in a plastic bag, the Walmart bag that I've had it in here for a week. So I think it's because of that. All you need to do is you can air it out, just give it like fresh air, let that mold kind of dry up, or you can do like 1 part water and 1 part peroxide, spray it, let it air dry. However, I'm gonna put this in a pot with moist soil. I'm not gonna be too worried. This bulb is nice and hard. It's not rotted anywhere, so I'm perfectly okay with having this little bit of surface mold there. Okay, so how do you know which way to plant your bulb in your pot? This is the top. You'll see all of these rings here. This is where your foliage will grow out of, and this is where you will get, see these little nodes here? This is where you will also get new stems branching off of here. So you'll get the growth from the center, and then you'll get growth out of the nodes that are on the sides. This is what the bottom looks like, very gnarly. Let me see if I can sharpen that for you. So yes, it's very gnarly here. This is where your roots are coming out. The roots come out of the sides and the bottom too. So what you want to look for is this ring. This goes top side up. So this is how you'd want to plant it in your pot, down like this. The bottom towards the bottom of the pot, this towards the top. So let's go ahead and get this guy planted so you can see exactly what to do. So here's the pot that I chose for this elephant ear. I chose this pot because it is big, and this is a big elephant ear. So you want to make sure that your elephant ear is gonna have at least 1 inch or 2 of space around all sides, at least. Because you wanna have room for the roots to grow. It also depends on how long you're gonna keep this plant indoors before planting it outside. It's February for me. I won't be able to plant this out until mid-May. That means this plant's gonna be in my house for a long time, and I don't wanna have to repot this because it gets root bound while inside waiting to go outdoors. So I try to overplant them a bit just to give me some time. Now, here's what it should look like. See all that extra space around the elephant ear? This is a perfect size pot for this. Now, I could do a little smaller. If you have a bulb around this size and you want to plant it in something just slightly smaller, go ahead and do that. If you don't have big pots like this, use whatever's available. And if you want to do repots on it, that's fine. Do whatever works for you. I'm just showing you how I like to pot mine, and I like to go up a few sizes just so that I know that my bulb has enough room for the roots and everything. Once they start putting out foliage, they really take off in growth. The roots just go crazy, and usually by the time I'm planting them outside, I've got roots, coming out of the drainage holes. So yeah, so this plant has a few staples in it from the tag. I'm gonna leave those in there. I don't want to have cause any like open holes or anything like that while I am trying to get this thing to grow. The staples are not going to interfere with it. I wish they wouldn't staple them, but it's not my operation. So Yeah, I'm gonna leave those staples in there because I don't want any open wounds on this bulb. So I'm gonna fill this up halfway with soil. So we have filled this halfway with soil, and you can see that there. I'm gonna go ahead and stick this elephant ear right in the center of this pot. I'm gonna twist it down a little bit so that it doesn't move. And now you can see the type of space we have between here and the sides of the pot. This is perfect. If you want to go on a little smaller, you can, but you just want to allow for room for that bulb to be able to push out some of those side shoots and, you know, have a space for its roots. Excuse the gnats. The gnats are just gnatting this year. But anyways, just make sure that you have enough space for your bulb. If you want to plant it in something smaller, again, do what you need to do to get them planted, do what works for you within your budget, all of that stuff. So just get them planted. That's the biggest concern. So now that it's in its pot, we've got it halfway full with soil. We're gonna go ahead and fill up the rest of the pot with soil. We're gonna backfill and cover the bulb up completely. We've now backfilled this pot. It's time to water this plant in. We want to water it deeply because we're not going to be watering it again until this soil starts to dry down about here. So let's go ahead and water this plant in. So you want to keep your container in an area that is warm, 70 degrees or higher. Your bulb will germinate or begin breaking dormancy. As long as it's, you know, above 46 degrees, 50s, it will break dormancy, but the warmer it is, the sooner your bulb will wake up. So I like to keep mine in my dining room. We've got bright light in here. It's warm in here. It's 70 degrees. And sometimes a little higher, just depending on what's going on. And then I already added 2 sticky gnat traps because having this soil, keeping it moist, it's going to attract gnats. It's inevitable. So I keep sticky gnat traps in my pots. And then I also water with a water that has a mosquito dunk in it. Mosquito dunks are great for killing gnat larvae as well as mosquito larvae. So whenever I top off my plants, so once this dries down about 2 inches, I will water the top portion of the soil because the bottom half will still be moist. And I'll water it with this water. So I have a mosquito dunk that just stays in here. And I always keep water in this. And you want to let that mosquito dunk soak a bit in the water before you water your plants, just so that you get some of that, I'm guessing it's some sort of like chemical or something that is in there. And then you water the soil with that. That'll kill any larvae. The sticky gnat traps will grab any adults. And that kind of helps with the gnats. I won't say that it's like completely eliminates them because you have to do that with every single plant that's in your house, but it does help cut back and break that life cycle. So That's just something I do. If you guys have another way to help with gnats in your home, leave it in the comments section. I also use a plug-in in the kitchen that has like a light on it that attracts them. That also helps with gnats. But outside of that, and then these two things, I don't do anything else for my gnats. So once you've got your elephant ears planted, you want to make sure to water them in really good. And then once you start seeing that first few inches of soil start to dry up, you want to put your hands in there. If it feels dry to you, go ahead and top off your plant with water. You don't necessarily have to do a full, like, thorough watering. It just depends on how dry that the soil is, how far down it's dry. Also, if it's been at least a month and you still haven't seen any growth on your elephant ears, go ahead and pull some of that soil back above the elephant ear and you can check it. See if you see any growth. A lot of times you will have root growth before you have foliage and stem growth. So pulling that soil back, giving it a little check is a great way to, like, not disturb the bulb, but just get you a little sneak peek at what's going on down there. You can also, once you have the bulb exposed a little bit, go ahead and press on it and see if you feel any soft or mushiness. If it's mushy, that means it's probably rotted and you need to go ahead and unpot that and see what's going on. If it's still hard and you don't see any, like, you know, any pink growth or any green bits growing, just cover it back up and continue on with regular care. It will start, sometimes they can take a month, sometimes they take, you know, 2 weeks, and then you'll see growth. It just depends, and there's no way of knowing if you've got a bulb that's going to start quickly or a bulb that's going to take its time. So just make sure that you're providing, like, enough light, enough warmth. You're watering when it's starting to dry up, and just keep on. And it's a waiting game. It can take a while, so just hang tight. Your bulb will wake up for you. But that is really it to planting them. You can plant them outside once your temps have warmed up above 46 degrees and it's consistent above that temperature. You don't want them to get a freeze or get hit with frost, because that can kill the foliage if you've got some. So just take your time with planting them out. Make sure that it is going to be stable temps from planting day on out. All right, guys, let me know if you have any questions about this video, questions about taking care of elephant ears. Oh, one more thing. Once you start seeing foliage above the soil, once it gets its first leaf, go ahead and start fertilizing. That's usually the point where I start to fertilize. I don't fertilize sooner than that. If you want to do a light dose fertilizer, you can. Also, I use potting soil to plant this, and that has a granular or slow release fertilizer already in it. That's one of the reasons also why I wait until I actually have foliage, because then once you have leaves, you have that plant is actually, like, able to utilize the things that are in the soil. All right, that is it. If you have any questions, drop them below. I'm happy to help. I also have other videos on my channel about growing and planting elephant ears if you want to check those out. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.